Every empire has its symbol. Rome had its eagle, Britain had its crown. And America, it has the dollar. But what happens when that symbol begins to fall? Right now, around the world, nations are quietly preparing for the end of the US dollar's dominance. Trade deals are shifting, gold reserves are rising, and for the first time in nearly a century, the foundation of the global economy, the dollar itself, is starting to crack. But how did the most powerful currency in history become the very thing threatening the system it built? To answer that, we have to go back to the moment money itself became a weapon. It all began in 1944, inside a luxury hotel in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. World War II was ending. The world's economies were in ruins, but one country stood tall: America. With most of the world's gold reserves locked in U.S. vaults, the dollar became the anchor of a new financial order. Under the Bretton Woods Agreement, every other currency was tied to the dollar, and the dollar was tied to gold. It was a system built on trust that the U.S. would always keep its word, that $1 could always be exchanged for real gold. But trust, once broken, is impossible to repair. The 1950s and 60s were America's golden age. Factories boomed, the middle class thrived, and the world used dollars like oxygen. Every country needed them to trade oil, to buy goods, to pay debts. This made the dollar not just a currency, but a global lifeline. But power always invites temptation. As America grew richer and stronger, it also grew reckless. The government spent beyond its means, funding wars, social programs, and massive projects, printing dollars far faster than it could back them with gold. Foreign nations began to notice. By the late 1960s, countries like France started demanding their gold back. Shipments of gold left U.S. shores. And for the first time, America faced a terrifying truth. It had promised more gold than it actually had. The global system was collapsing from within. And then, in 1971, everything changed. On August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon went on live television and made an announcement that shocked the world. "I have directed the Secretary of the Treasury to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold." Temporarily, but that temporary suspension never ended. In one decision, the U.S. severed the dollar's link to gold, unleashing a new era of money that existed only on paper and later on screens. We had opened Pandora's box. Without gold to limit it, the U.S. could print as many dollars as it wanted. It was like giving the government a money cheat code in a video game. Infinite lives, infinite spending, and at first it seemed like a miracle. Economies expanded, stocks soared, credit cards spread like wildfire, money became easy, and debt became normal. But hidden beneath that growth was a ticking time bomb. Once the dollar was no longer backed by gold, debt became the fuel of the American dream. Governments borrowed, corporations borrowed, people borrowed. Everyone was living on future money, a promise to pay tomorrow for what we spent today. The Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States, became the new god of the economy. With a few keystrokes, it could create money out of nothing and pump it directly into banks, markets, and institutions. But there was a catch. Every new dollar created also created new debt. And while the economy grew, that debt grew faster. In 1980, America owed less than $1 trillion. Today, it owes over $36 trillion, a skyscraper of debt towering higher than the Burj Khalifa, growing every second. We didn't fix the system. We built it on quicksand. Today, the cracks in the dollar system are widening. Countries like China, Russia, and Brazil are cutting deals that bypass the dollar entirely. Even U.S. allies are quietly diversifying their reserves, shifting to gold, commodities, or even digital currencies. And while this happens abroad, the dollar's strength at home is eating away at ordinary lives. Groceries that cost $50 a few years ago now cost $80. Housing, healthcare, and education, all climbing faster than wages. Inflation isn't an accident. It's the price of the system itself. Every dollar printed makes the ones in your pocket worth a little less. Every new loan pushes the next generation deeper into the cycle. The global order that began at Bretton Woods, where America held the keys to money itself, is starting to unravel. The rest of the world is asking, why should one country control the currency that everyone else depends on? And they're not waiting for an answer. We're now watching the same movie play out that every great empire has seen before. From Rome to Britain to America, each one rose on the back of power, trust, and money. Each one fell when that trust was broken. If confidence in the dollar fades, the entire global economy, from Wall Street to your savings account, could face a reckoning unlike anything we've ever seen. Because here's the truth, the dollar doesn't survive because it's backed by gold. It survives because people believe in it. It's a confidence game, and belief is fragile. The rise and fall of the dollar isn't just about economics. It's about human nature. Our desire for control, our fear of loss, our endless faith in something that might not last forever. So what can we learn? First, power built on trust must be protected, not abused. Second, every financial system, no matter how strong, has a breaking point. Third, true wealth isn't paper or pixels. It's resilience, knowledge, and preparation. The dollar shaped the world we live in, but history shows that no empire, no currency, no system lasts forever. The question is, when the dollar finally falls, what will rise to take its place?